Mysterious cases of time travel that can't be explained. The cathedral in the Spanish city of Salamanca was constructed in 1102 and is therefore one of the oldest such constructions in the world. It features magnificent stone carvings on all of its walls, but one of them is a bit more special than the others, so to speak. It bears the depiction of what appears to be a fully dressed astronaut in a spacesuit, complete with details such as the soles of his shoes. Nobody knows how he got there, or what a 20th century astronaut is doing on the walls of a 12th century religious building. Proof backing up the theory that Nicolas Cage may actually be either a time traveler or possibly an immortal vampire or something just keeps rolling in. First, there was that picture of his Civil War-era doppelganger that popped up on eBay in 2011. And now this, a clear drawing of Nick Cage in the history books. The picture was posted online by a Redditor who claims to have found it in a Mexican history book that had a section on the 19th century Mexican Emperor Maximilian I. Take a look at the Charlie Chaplin film, The Circus. You'll notice an elderly woman is walking down the street talking on what seemingly looks like a mobile phone. However, this movie was made in 1928, and mobile phones definitely weren't available back then. Here is another mobile phone occurrence in 1938. You'll notice how a young factory worker is exiting her workplace holding what looks like a mobile phone. It was filmed in Massachusetts, USA, but no explanation has been given about the device in her hand. Sir Robert Victor Goddard, an air marshal, was sent to inspect a disused airfield near Edinburgh in a little place called Drem that he found was in a decrepit state. However, later that day, he ran into a spot of air trouble when flying his biplane during heavy rain. He therefore chose to fly back through Drem to wait for the storm to pass. However, he soon left the tempestuous rain and entered sunlight. When he looked down, he noticed that the once decrepit field had been transformed and was now in use. Mechanics in blue overalls were walking around the airfield, and he spotted 4 yellow planes on the runway, which he failed to recognize despite his many years of aviation experience. It was 4 years later that the RAF began painting their planes yellow, and guess what? The mechanics' uniforms changed to blue. In mid-June 1950, a man named Rudolph Fentz was hit by a taxi and killed in New York's Times Square. He was dressed in 1800s clothing and had in his pockets copper token for a beer, a bill for the care of a horse and the washing of a carriage, $70, a letter from 1876, and business cards. All of the items showed no signs of aging. An NYPD policeman, confused about the man's attire and belongings, delved back into history, only to find that a man of 29 had disappeared in 1876. Was this Rudolph Fentz? Not only might the man known only as Von Helton be a time traveler, but he could be a vampire. He claims he has a vampire gene that keeps him immortal, and he has even offered side-by-side photographs of himself to prove he has actually traveled through time. The first image of him is in 1857 in England, followed by France in 1916, Berlin in 1945, and then the modern man today standing in front of the American flag. Hakan Nordqvist claims he was simply fixing his leaky sink when he suddenly found himself crawling through a tunnel, only to meet his 70-year-old self. With his phone in hand, he was able to film the event, and the two men showed off their matching tattoos to the camera. Chinese archaeologists were excited to open a 400-year-old Xiqing tomb in 2008, only to find a small piece of metal inside, which was shaped like a watch. The tomb is believed to have been undisturbed, which left the archaeologists scratching their heads, when they found the watch frozen at 10:06 with the words Swiss engraved on the back. Was the person inside a time traveler? This photograph was taken in 1941 of the time-traveling hipster, as he is often known. It was taken at the South Forks Bridge in Goldbridge, British Columbia, Canada. However, you cannot deny that his clothing looks a lot different from those around him. Look at those modern sunglasses and his cool t-shirt. It has to be a time traveler, doesn't it? Thanks for watching.